Detroit at Sports Radio DET, and please just go peruse the website.
Oh, we figured it out.
Did we finally figure out this video mess?
Figured it out.
I think it's working better.
The whole fucking first segment is just trash.
Got a Rahilio thumbs up.
Yeah, because he was probably watching the first one going like, what the fuck are they doing over there?
Somehow there was, I don't know if there's a hotspot that's connected to the fucking camera, but I think we figured it out.
Yeah, now you get to see our ugly mugs in HD.
Looks pretty good. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some out there that were not displeased that we did not have the connection the first time.
But this just gives the people an excuse to go download the full episode of the revamped show.
Roger says perfect.
Yep.
Thanks for all your help, Raj.
Yes, Roger, you are perfect. Aww.
The new studio looks good. The lighting looks good.
Left was
Dude,
a match of hepatitis on
It
the toilet
is
seat.
so much brighter in here.
I can't hear it.
We were like in a dingy dungeon before, apparently, that we didn't realize we were in this dingy.
I never did make my Bloody Mary.
No.
You can go do that right now while you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, I'll make a 2-shot, man. We can do that
Talk
shit. We have that power now.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It'll take me at least 10 minutes to make a good Bloody Mary. I can do it live here.
Let me give you a topic.
Let's show you how to do
It's
it.
a cooking show now.
It's a how-to.
No, that has to be on that craft beer show that me and Mike are going to do.
That should be a thing.
It would be good. It would be fun.
I vote that it's a thing.
I don't know.
I was the shit back in the day.
We should limit it to a certain amount of beers per episode. And I don't mean that literally from a legality purpose. I just mean like I don't want to cover too many beers per episode.
Yeah.
There are plenty of beers.
Mike
There's
needs
a lot of
beer
beer.
corner.
I agree.
Yeah. We'll do a 2-minute beer corner.
You know what we should do? We should just go over Mike's Untapped feed live on air. Because that thing is ripe.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I know when you guys were going over the Twitter handles and stuff previously, it was hilarious hearing Mike to basically say, for anybody that actually is my friend or follows me on Twitter, especially people that would follow him initially, it's just going to look like he's an alcoholic. That's the only thing that goes on his Twitter feed pretty much.
Do you think he's going to drink less once he's a dad?
No.
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 That was a quick answer.
No.
And if anything, more.
That's part of it.
You know what, Mike? But the thing with Mike is like, Mike's not like a power drinker. Just like, let me pound this and pound that. Mike enjoys trying things.
Yes.
So Mike savors his beers. Like when he has beers here at the show.
You know, I heard they recently decided to add more hops to it.
You know, me or you will get through. You'll get through probably at least 4. You sometimes 5 or 6 because you don't have to go anywhere. Mike will get through 2.
You can tell by the way
Mike,
the conversation turned.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Mike gets through 2 because Mike is just savoring it. Mike really enjoys what he's drinking.
Flavor.
Yeah, I mean I do too. But
There's the flavor.
I do too, but I just enjoy I enjoy the refreshment.
Well, if you're watching on Facebook Live, we thank you for joining us, and please go download the full episode at sportsradiodetroit.com. We talked a lot about Urban Meyer in the first segment there.
We did.
Yeah.
And the joke that is Ohio State University, which brings me into the segment that we're bringing back that somehow died, and we still haven't figured out how it died.
No.
You guys do that now?
Sure.
You guys
That's fine with me, man.
To our Turd Tursday
It connects. It all
Turd
connects.
of the week.
Oh, you're such a turd. Oh, yeah, a giant turd. And you look like a turd and you smell like a turd. Oh, you're such a turd. Oh, yeah, a giant turd. And you look like a turd and you smell like a turd.
It's been a while. It makes me laugh. So funny.
We have a show turd this week. Is that how we want to set this format from now on? Do we just want to do one turd and just discuss that?
I guess.
as opposed to coming up with our own
It
turds?
should be a week-by-week basis.
Let's just go show by show. Isn't that what we've always done?
Yeah.
This show hasn't changed one iota.
No, we thought it would change.
From what
but
it used to be.
better camera.
Jeff, why don't you tell the people who is our Turd Tursday Turd of the Week?
Well, Gene Smith is our turd of the week.
And who is Gene Smith?
Gene Smith is the athletic director at the Ohio State University.
And why is Gene Smith our Turd Tursday Turd of the Week?
Because Gene Smith got a slap on the wrist while vacationing down in Mexico.
He didn't even get that.
Yeah, he didn't even get that.
So,
Nothing happened to him.
one thing that I think we left out when we were discussing Urban Meyer in the first segment is here's what makes no sense. Ohio State blew out Jim Tressel because his players got free tattoos and sold their own likeness.
Yeah.
Yet Urban Meyer is still invited to coach at Ohio State University when he had a coach on his staff for the better part of a decade who beat the shit out of his girlfriend, or wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Of course.
He also sent dick pics in the White House. He ordered a bunch of...
Does anybody else want to see those pictures? Because I do.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know what Zach Smith's penis looks like.
Head, but with just the shaft.
with the White House towel on the other side of it.
You know, he ordered a bunch of sex toys,
Is that-
delivered them to Ohio State's football facility.
Is that not the broiest thing you've ever heard?
He's the biggest bro
I'm
of all
taking
time.
a trip to the White House, and I'm going to take a dick pic in front of a White House towel.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Now, you did mention the sex toys. I don't even hate on Zach Smith for that.
I mean, why not send him to your house?
Because he didn't want his wife to see him.
Yeah,
You can't get upset with Zach
He was
Smith for
cheating.
that.
He
By
was
the way,
cheating.
you guys are going to enjoy this, the banner I just put up. Give it a second. You're gonna enjoy this one.
Can't wait.
I'm not even going to be able to see it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brown, and it says with an exclamation point.
But I will say this: I was attempting to put an emoji, and I found a loophole, or an error. I don't know if maybe it's just because it's on the fritz or something, but it wouldn't let me put an emoji in there.
We're just experimenting.
But it's fun. You can do things.
I hope you enjoy it.
Gene Smith is our turd of the week because he's basically the only reason that Gene Smith is our turd of the week is because he's still the athletic director at Ohio State University.
Yeah, you have one coach who did a lot of great things for university, who got fired basically because he allowed his players to make money off of their likeness, basically, which I think we were kind of talking about this last night, which should be completely legal nationwide and under the NCAA rules. It's asinine that it's not. But that guy gets fired, and then you have a coach that actively basically covers up and is actively negligent about a guy who has domestic abuse issues going on and all sorts of unsavory activity, and yet that guy gets like I said, a slap on the wrist.
We have actual audio from Gene Smith shortly after terminating Jim Tressel. What was it, about 7, 8 years ago?
I was longer than that.
All he
already,
left was a batch of hepatitis on the toilet seat.
Yeah,
because didn't they go from Tressel to the guy who's now the
Luke
head coach?
Fickell.
Yeah, who's now at Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Doing a nice job over there. And then what was he there? 2-3 years? 2 years?
Then they brought in a head coach that harbored a murderer.
But also had the sport's biggest deity at the same time.
That
makes
true.
no sense.
The Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez dynamic of Urban Meyer.
In a bunch of trouble after he left too.
Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you left him under sanctions. Of
By the
course.
way,
he always does.
that sounds like a
My health is bad. I gotta go.
I'm
just
going to
gonna
fake
send-
another heart attack.
The Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez dynamic sounds like a SNL cartoon skit waiting to happen. Does it not?
That
No, it
whole
does.
team versus Tim Tebow.
Outrageous.
There's a bunch of criminals and Tim Tebow. Song makes me want to grow up.
And like we said last time we were on, when we were talking about Tebow. It's like the fact that Tebow was such a godly person, let everything else fall underneath the radar. Everybody just was like, oh, look at this guy. This guy is amazing.
See, here's the craziest thing. So Ohio State goes and they have this big board of trustees meeting to decide what the hell they're going to do with Urban Meyer. And I'm going, he's not going to be fired. How long is the suspension going to be? Is there going to be a suspension? And they come out and it's a suspension that's not really a suspension. That's a suspension that's not a suspension at the same time. But then I go, but there's still a chance that there could be something that comes out of this. Maybe Gene Smith bites the bullet on this one. Maybe Gene Smith is the one
Anyone?
that takes this.
Anyone? Anyone gonna get punished? Anyone?
Nope, not
No.
so far.
No.
He's still there.
Of course.
He's still there. He was there for the Tressel fiasco. He was there for the wrestling fiasco where guys were running around wagging their dicks in the sauna, slapping each other in the mouth with it. And then now there's this Zach Smith, Urban Meyer situation, and still Gene Smith is your athletic director at the Ohio State University.
It's great.
What does Gene Smith... Okay, forget Urban Meyer for a second. What does Gene Smith have to do to get fired?
I don't know.
Does he have to allow people to get raped on his campus?
Yeah, or murder somebody. Himself. Himself.
Courtney Smith turns up in a dumpster 2 weeks from now. We know who to talk to.
Show up on a porn site somewhere. A cam.
No. Dude, Donald Trump's president. There's no way they would fire Gene Smith
Cam
for
was
that.
perfect for that. Roger. Whole nother level of income. Whole nother level of income.
We could do like mom porn.
Oh, with who? Who's mom?
Everybody's mom.
Everybody's mom.
SRD moms. Yeah.
You're really taking
Yeah.
it. You're taking it far.
That's right.
You just joined us, by the way. I hope this lags perfectly for him to hear all this. This is good.
Mom porn's great. There's something about MILF porn, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's extra special.
They're never really MILFs.
Because it's a little taboo. Well, I mean, you got to find the amateur stuff.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're looking for.
I guess you do have to do an extensive search.
I like real women in my porn. I like women that aren't plastic. I like them to have some flaws. Like, give me a few stretch marks.
Jesus.
Give me not so perfect tits in my porn. I like real women. That's very progressive of me.
You know one thing?
I like real women in my porn.
It's woke, bro. Woke porn. That's what you should do. Woke porn.
There would have to be a lot of gender fluidity in that porn.
Yeah.
Then it just gets weird.
I'm a guy.
For
Now
the
I'm a chick. Now I'm a guy. Now I'm a chick. Now it's lesbian. Now it's straight.
So is it just like good cop, bad cop from the Lego movie? Just one side of the head is one and one side of the head is the other? I'm a guy. I'm a girl. I'm a guy. I'm a girl.
Porn can be like the board game video that you showed me earlier, Jeff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
We can have woke porn.
Woke porn, yeah. It's a whole new genre. I just came up with it. I hope I get paid for it.
So great.
You won't.
Wrong. It perpetuates racist ideology.
Just a guy asking for consent every 3 minutes.
Trapping children in a never-ending black hole of ignorance and hate.
But we're going to change that. I'm woke.
And I'm woke.
And we're the creators of Woke Games.
Woke porn.
That's right. We're here to woke up all your favorite games.
For instance, our version of chess is
change
no
this to
longer
porn.
a race war.
It's all white
that's
pieces
my piece.
and an
Are
all
you
white
sure?
Why?
I don't know.
It's all
I don't
beige.
see color.
board. All beige, Jeff.
We all know the game of life was designed for and by cis white males.
But guess what, white men? We don't all start in the same place, and we don't all have the same opportunities.
In order to even the playing field for the minorities, I have to start 10 spaces ahead as my socioeconomic status and makes it more difficult for me to move forward.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
You may be thinking some games are already woke. Mr. Potato Head can be anything he wants. All you have to do is switch out the pieces.
But have you ever thought maybe this potato doesn't identify as a man?
And maybe they're not a head.
That's why we're introducing gender fluid root vegetable.
Now with 5,000 interchangeable pieces for maximum fluidity.
You're probably saying
the kid.
there's no way you can make all games woke.
Yes, we can, and yes, we did.
What about the game Uno?
Uno is cultural appropriation for the Spanish language, so now it's one.
Shoots and ladders?
It's now shoots and handicap accessible ramps.
What about hungry hippos?
Properly cared for nutritionally healthy animals.
Battleship?
Friendship.
Oh, and settlers of Catan.
Indigenous people fighting to keep their land of Powhatan.
And we're even taking on the most offensive game of all.
Bop It, which is obviously a government-funded conspiracy to promote rape culture.
You can't just bop something without asking for consent first.
Bop It.
May I please bop it?
Yes, you are allowed to bop it. Twist
love
it.
it.
You did not ask for consent. Administering pepper spray.
Yay, I win! It's woke
It's the best shot right there.
You can buy
The
woke
kid's
games
eyes
at
are
this
just swollen
Sunday's
and
Logan
red.
County Farmers Market.
That'll
At
teach a
stall
kid to be
22
progressive.
between the Chris
That's what we need. We need woke porn.
Yeah, woke porn. It's definitely. I'm getting right on that.
There's too much cultural appropriation in porn. Like you just go to a site, you type Asian, whatever
that's
you want.
racist.
That's so racist.
It's so racist.
That's so.
I never even thought about that.
It's incredible. Woke porn.
Yeah, it's incredibly.
Roger, we know our next endeavor.
Yeah.
Woke porn.
Take all the money you've made from SRD, all $5, and put it right into woke porn.
I'm sure if you type woke porn, something's coming up already anyway.
I'm gonna find out.
I'm sure it happens.
I'm gonna find out right now.
Nothing but a Google search. It's gonna tell you what woke porn is. There's got to be woke porn. Someone's made a parody at least.
Well,
right?
it's you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like somebody woke her up for sex.
It's
like
a
that's what it's,
yeah.
it's like. That's what it's gonna come
Woke
on.
videos on xvideos.com.
It's definitely a parody.
Oh, here we go. There's just a lot of porn
no,
here.
it's just porn.
Oh, this is.
It's just porn.
No, you know what it is?
Oh, it's waking him up and then banging him.
That's what I'm saying.
It's waking him up and banging him. It's genius.
Or sticking their dick in a sleep woman.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's not woke.
That's not woke at all.
Yeah,
woman?
in a sleep woman.
Never met one of those.
That's like waking. That's like woke porn is just waking your girlfriend up with a boner. That's
Yeah.
exactly what woke porn is.
Like Julian Assange. Surprise sex.
So, by the way, you have about what is that? It's 12 different images on the screen currently.
Yeah.
And like,
which one's
more,
your fave?
No, I'm just saying more than half of them are sister or mom.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of stepmom
Yeah, a
porn.
lot of incest porn going
Like
on.
all I want is like older women in my porn.
It's like the hot thing right now.
I just want older women in my porn. I don't need to see that older woman banging her supposed stepson.
What did you do?
I don't know. I accidentally
Why did
clicked
you
on
do
this.
This is
on
getting
one.
real
This
weird.
This
all
was
of
an
a sudden.
accident.
It's an ad. No, those are audio. Look at Ron Jeremy. Turn the audio down.
Wait a minute, Dan. Dan, I thought we were revamping this show.
This is getting worse and worse.
I didn't. I poked the.
You poked her while she was asleep.
I did that once. It was about 5:30 in the morning. She wasn't happy.
Did you get pepper sprayed?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
You didn't ask for consent,
But
first.
I might get me too'd.
May I bop it? Yes, you may bop it.
Whoa. You all right?
No. I need
Shoots
to go get my e-juice.
Shoots and ladders. It's now shoots and handicap accessible ramps. That's a fair compromise, really, if you
man.
think about it.
What were we going to move on to next?
We got
Shea?
We got Abysmal Lions. You can finish the show with
You want
that.
to start with the shitty stuff or the good stuff?
I don't know. I can't tell which one's which. The good stuff, Shea, I would assume.
I'm going to say that it is.
A
because
competent quarterback?
Jim Harbaugh comes out 3 weeks or whatever it was, 2.5 weeks before the season starts, and announces his starting quarterback. That is not a Jim Harbaugh move since he's been at Michigan.
No, that means he is far and away better
I was going to
than
say,
any
does that
quarterback on the
really
roster.
mean that Shea Patterson is good? Or is this just Jim Harbaugh?
I'd say Shea Patterson is good. I mean, we've seen Shea Patterson. He's played well in the SEC against very good defenses. So we have an idea that we already knew he was going to be a really good quarterback coming into camp. And the whole idea.
By the way, the title on that video that I accidentally pulled up before you
Slender
continue.
Teen.
Slender Teen Zoe Dahl drilled real good.
Real good.
That's woke porn.
Yep, that's what I would say that I think we all knew what the writing was on the wall when he transferred. I don't think it's any surprise, and I don't think it really is something that any of us didn't think was going to happen.
Oh, it would have been an unbelievable disaster, honestly, if he didn't win the job.
Yeah.
It was one of two.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of two things. Either McCaffrey showed up and all of a sudden was this god and like came into his own immediately, or like out of nowhere, or Shea Patterson just came in and was just an
Jim Harbaugh, you
absolute failure. There was no in between there. If he was not named the starting quarterback, there was something went terribly wrong. You didn't bring this dude in. They're like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a competition. Is there really though?
Jeff's handing me drugs.
Was there really gonna be competition? I don't think there was really a competition.
No. I mean, it would have really. I mean, I guess if one of those other guys had been really good, maybe there was a competition. But it's just Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh being Jim Harbaugh is having a quarterback competition.
By the way,
Jim Harbaugh, you get
fun
pregnant.
fact, you might have even already seen this. First time in his college coaching career that he's named a starting quarterback before the first game of the season since he named Andrew Luck starting quarterback.
Wow.
I mean, I guess we can stick there because obviously, what are we, 13 days away from the start of the season or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
No, it's less than that. It's next Saturday.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's 8 days.
Michigan, I will say this for Jim Harbaugh. Every single fucking year, Michigan is remarkably fascinating before the year starts.
Oh, of course.
Because every year that under Jim Harbaugh's tenure, we don't know what the hell to expect out of this team.
No.
And I feel like that's the same again this year.
I think you're going to get a really good defense out of this team.
Well, yeah, you got.
I think that's a guarantee.
You got a couple of veteran leaders coming back in Gary and Winovich,
and Khalid Hudson, and Devin Bush, who's an All-American, the only Michigan All-American, preseason All-American.
Is Devin? Hold on, let's just stick with Devin Bush for a second. Is Devin Bush maybe the least talked about players at Michigan that deserve to be talked about more?
He's the best player on the defense, and he doesn't get talked about
at all.
No,
he just flies
he's better
under the
than
radar.
Gary. He's better than Gary right now, and he's younger.
He's better than Chase Winovich.
Yeah.
He's always been better than Chase
He's more
Winovich.
impactful than those guys are. Those guys are really good, and trust me, Chase Winovich's senior year, this is his senior year. He's going to be an absolute monster. They are going to be the best duo in college football on the defensive line. The best. Hands down.
That is a
no
very,
question.
very bold statement.
I have no doubt about it. They are both monsters. But they have a linebacker that is unique behind them. A very unique guy. A guy who's really fast, clogs the hole. His lateral movement might be the best in the country from side to side. You're not going to get the corner on him. And he is decent in pass coverage. I wouldn't say he's great in pass
You're talking about
coverage.
Winovich.
I'm talking about
Devin Bush.
Devin Bush.
Okay.
So
shouldn't have handed me those drugs.
Track me here. Tracking. It's definitely going to be a very interesting season on the offensive side, but I think the defensive side is you just know what you're going to get.
Well, yeah.
And last year, the reason the defense would have these lapses, at least in my opinion, is because the offense was so feeble that they couldn't stay on the field. They couldn't put long drives together. They couldn't make the best of any situation the defense gave them. And so the defense lacked at times because they were tired. They were on the field a ton. They were put in bad situations.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that we know what a Don Brown offense does, right?
You mean defense?
I'm sorry, defense, yes. We know what a Don Brown defense does, right? Don Brown defense is even back when he was at Boston College. They give up big plays.
Yeah.
They attack.
From time to time.
They do, but you're going to give up big plays. I fully expect them to give up big plays again this year.
There's holes in the defense because they're aggressive. Because here's the thing. This defense isn't going to change too much from what it was last year. They returned the majority of their big hitters. And
make no mistake, Dave and Jeff, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just what comes with a Don Brown defense. You're going to make most of the stops, but a couple times a game, you're going to give up a big play.
Right. So, look, you know what your defense is going to give you? It's going to be really good. So, it's funny. You kind of, going into this season, you kind of are in a similar starting point to where you were coming into last year. However, as a Michigan fan, I think you have to feel a lot better about your starting point right now because on paper, at least, again, the games have to be played. You have to see what happens. But I think you have to feel a lot better about offensively what your capabilities are with a guy like Shea Patterson back there, under center. And your offensive line should be better. There's a lot of things that should be better. And, to be honest with you, a few of the skill position guys on offense are still slightly unknown. Not that you don't know who they are, but it's because they didn't really show you last year what you thought they should show you. Now, a portion of that obviously comes back to the quarterback play, and the quarterbacks that Michigan had last year did not play very well, which is not going to make your position players look, or your skill position players look good.
It's so sweet that Dave said they didn't play very well. They were fucking awful.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So they were fucking awful.
And their best wide
it's
receiver,
twofold.
Their best wide receiver got hurt in the beginning of the season and then was
Tariq
out.
Black.
Yeah, Tariq Black.
So and that's the thing is like it's a mutually exclusive conversation. Your skill position players have to play well to help your quarterback, but your quarterback has to play well to make your skill position players have success, right? It comes together. And so here's a funny stat I want to tell you too. And Jeff, I think I shared this with you last week off air, which really surprised me, even as a State fan. This really shocked me. So you look last year, and coming into let's put it this way: about halfway through the year last year, what you would have said was Michigan's defense was a lot better than Michigan State's, or at least seemed to be a lot better than Michigan State's, and Michigan State's offense seemed to be relatively further ahead than Michigan's offense, right? But on paper, when you go back and you look at where they finished the rankings, in the rankings at the end of the year, offensively, Michigan State was the 99th ranked overall offensive team in the country. Michigan was 105th. Not a big separation, right?
And both bad.
Not very good, right? Both of them were weak. But here's the crazy part. And this shocked me. And obviously, you could tell Michigan State got a lot better on defense last year from the year before. Michigan finished second overall in total defense in the country. We know their defense was dynamic as hell. Michigan State was 7th. I was shocked that the separation was not more. And that's not, I think that's more of a testament to Michigan State being better than I thought they were, than Michigan not being as good. Because second in the country, it's tough to get a lot better than that.
You know what makes that interesting, Dave, is because we know how people in this town operate. Let's compare Michigan to Michigan State. Let's just have some fun here for a second. That's what people like to do, right? As a Michigan fan, I sit here and I will tell you, I'm more confident in what Michigan State brings to the table this year. Why?
They have more things that are known.
And that's it. And the number one thing is the fucking quarterback position. You know, you say what you want to be as confident as you want in Shea Patterson. I'm not going to tell you not to be, because I kind of am too. But we know what Brian Lewerke is.
Yeah, and he's good.
And he's
really
real good.
Yeah.
And good to a point where I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Not that good.
No way.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Isn't that just a theme at Michigan State?
He's going to be better, too.
But wait a minute. Isn't that what we just keep saying about quarterbacks at Michigan State?
They're better than you think.
For as long back. No. Underselling them. Always.
Oh, yeah.
They're never as good. They were never supposed to be as good as they actually ended up being.
I will tell you a big reason why that is. A big reason why that is the fact that Michigan State historically, including in the Antonio area especially, which is obviously what we're really talking about, have not recruited the big-time star quarterbacks, as far as recruiting goes. But what Mark D'Antonio has done such a good job of in his tenure is they have at certain positions, linebackers one of them, quarterbacks another one, positions that he's really comfortable with. He has done an excellent job of recruiting guys that fit what he wants to do.
And you know what, Dave? Go back even further than that. Go back to, I'll give you an example. I'll tell you where it started, at least to me, as somebody who was a football fan and really closely studied the game, where it started for me. It may even go back further than this. I don't know. Drew Stanton.
Oh, yeah.
Drew Stanton is a guy that is still, by the way, a backup quarterback in the NFL. Has he had a great NFL career? No. Would you trade places with Drew Stanton right now?
A heartbeat.
You bet your sweet ass you would.
Yep.
You get to go out there and be a backup quarterback, rake in a couple $1 million a year. 13 years into your whatever. I don't know. I'm not looking.
There's no expectations.
I don't know. You got drafted in 06, right?
Stanton?
Yeah.
It was 06, 07, one of those guys.
Whatever. Going into the 12th, 13th year of your career,
Yeah.
You bet your sweet ass you trade places with Drew Stanton. And here's the thing, Drew Stanton. How good would Drew Stanton would he have been with 3 years under Mark D'Antonio?
Really good.
Oh, yeah.
You know what the funny thing about Stanton too, that you probably don't really remember because it was far enough back that it was still in the John L. Smith years and all that good stuff. But Drew Stanton, for his first couple seasons, I think he only started 2 years. His first couple of seasons, they were playing him all over the place. They were playing him legitimately on special teams coverage. And if for any Michigan State fans out there, if you recall, Drew Stanton blew up his knee one year making a special teams play, right? That's crazy. This guy who is, again, like you said, now on his 13th or 14th year in the league as a quarterback, has started for certain teams. That's insane.
Look, bottom line is I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I'm a Michigan fan. And I'm not gonna. I don't just blindly hate the teams that I hate. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be dishonest with you about those teams. Whether it's Ohio State, whether it's Michigan State. Ohio State's kicked our ass for 14 fucking straight years. Michigan State's kicked our ass for over a decade now, or just under a decade now. So when I say that we don't expect as much as we get from Michigan State quarterbacks, Brian Lewerke's just the latest example. And I think he's the biggest reason why I sit here today on, what is it, August 23rd, more confident that Michigan State is the better team than Michigan. And I'll tell you right now, I think Michigan's still the third best team in their own division.
Well, they showed the AP rankings.
Mm-hmm.
They showed in the AP rankings that Michigan State, they do consider Michigan State better than Michigan. And I think it's that question of like...
And I think that's fair.
I think it's fair too. And I think it's that question of like, you don't know what you're going to get out of Michigan. And then you see like before they actually announce who's going to be the starter, they have the whole, you know, the Michigan's offense is going to be spread out a little bit more than in the past. And it's like, okay, you know, they're not doing that for Brandon Peters. You know, they're not doing it for fun. They're doing it because they have a quarterback that runs a spread offense. So, and I think, you know, and then McCaffrey, it's Peters than McCaffrey, right? I think that was the three.
I believe that's the depth chart right now. Patterson, Peters, McCaffrey, I think is where it is right now.
Yeah, so the only other guy, I don't think Peters isn't running a spread, right?
No.
So I think McCaffrey
Peters isn't running in anything.
So if you think McCaffrey was the other guy,
he's running a spread his legs. That's what he's that's what he's running.
Like it was just like the writing was on the wall, and I'm happy that he made the decision now. You don't have Michigan fans wondering and you know, clamoring for Shea Patterson, or you know, being like, what's going on? Is he not? It instills confidence in your fan base because you basically know, okay, the quarterback's pretty good.
But by the way, it wouldn't shock me at all if by mid-season, Dylan McCaffrey goes above Peters on the depth chart. I think the only reason that Peters is second right now, technically speaking, is because he has game experience, and that is it. I don't think he is a better athlete. I don't think he is a better talent overall. I think McCaffrey has a higher ceiling. And I do have a question for you guys, though, about the quarterback position. As much as we're talking about Shea Patterson possibly finally being that, for lack of a better term, that savior for Michigan's future or whatever.
I hate that word.
Or him finally having a capable quarterback.
I just hate the word savior.
So, well, that's
when we're talking about football.
That's how I tagged it because I love everything.
The graphic.
You son of a bitch.
Shea Patterson is the savior?
I hate that word.
But all kidding aside, do you think that if Patterson comes in and proves to be that guy that they've been waiting to have, the guy who's actually capable of running this offense and getting this team to the heights that Harbaugh claims they should be getting to and all the fans think they should be getting to, is it possibly a slight indictment in a weird way on Harbaugh, though, that he had to go outside and get this high-level transfer, that he couldn't get his own guy, he couldn't recruit his own guy to make it for himself?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally, and it's fair. Because you guys heard me last season. I mean, that was so underwhelming for a third year.
Oh yeah.
That I'm still in a place now where if Harbaugh doesn't fucking do something this year, I'm running out of patience. I'm running out of this guy that was a quarterback under Bo Schembechler. This guy that is supposed to know, that's supposed to be his thing.
Andrew Luck. He turned Colin Kaepernick into a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. What have you gotten out of him at the quarterback position? Dave, 100% that is a fair criticism of Jim Harbaugh. 1 billion%.
Oh, definitely. I would say that there's no way you can't criticize Jim Harbaugh for not finding a quarterback at this point. But if Shea Patterson does well, then, I mean, he found one.
But
right?
But he has to keep going in all sorts of different ways to do
quote
it.
Unquote, develop one, but he found one.
I was going to say, and that's the thing. That's going to be the knock, right? So if Shea Patterson goes out and takes Michigan to a Big Ten championship game, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm going to be happy, but that's going to be the argument. Well, Harbaugh didn't find his guy. Harbaugh didn't develop his guy. Yeah. He had to go take him from Ole Miss. Well, and you know what? I'm going to listen to that. I'm not going to care, but I'm going to listen to it.
No, I'm not saying that.
I think there is a plus in this whole thing, is that he didn't have to sit out a year. He only had a freshman season. So you're going to be able to see multiple years of him. So you're going to see if he develops under Harbaugh. You're going to see if he developed from last year. You're also going to see if he developed next year. You'll see if he developed from this year. So it's not really a fair criticism at this point whether or not he can develop a quarterback. He might have just got some busts. He might have just recruited the wrong kids. It's not like Dylan McCaffrey's old and he just flamed out. He could be good. Milton looks really good.
No, but 4 years in, don't you need something?
You need something.
You need something. But I think it's but wait a minute. When I say I need something, because your definition of I need something and my definition of I need something may be very different.
That's true.
Because what I need you in that Big Ten championship game.
Oh, yeah. This year
100%. No, this fucking year.
Make a good point.
I need you in that Big Ten championship game. I need you going out and beating Michigan State and beating Ohio State.
So somebody made a comment on, it was an ESPN personality. I don't remember who it was. Actually, I think it was Jason Whitlock, I believe, brought this up, which was actually an excellent point. There was a discussion on that show, and I always forget the name of it. Is Speak Up or Don't or Speak Your Truth. I don't remember what the hell. The one that Coward's on sometimes. They were talking about, has Harbaugh underperformed? And we've talked about that on the show multiple times already.
And the answer is yes.
Absolutely, he has, yes. You can't look at, people who try to make, he's had a couple of 10-win seasons. Well, it's all wonderful. That's the bottom line. That's the absolute bottom line.
No, and you know what that is? You know what that is, Dave? Yeah. You know what that is? That's Georgia.
Yeah, he has.
That's Georgia. That's go out. You win 10 games. You maybe you squeak into an SEC championship game and get the fucking brakes beat off of you.
Now Kirby Smart's got Georgia being a real team.
And that's fine, but I'm talking about what Georgia has been.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to be? Do you want to be Georgia,
here's
Jeff?
The thing.
No. Fuck no.
Here's the thing. You are 1-5.
But they were in a national championship.
You are 1-5 against your biggest rivals to this point, right? And the only win came against a terrible Michigan State team. And that's not as a fandom thing. That's not me trying to excuse the victory.
No, you're 100%
They were terrible.
Right.
They were terrible. And so
that's your one. And they didn't beat them.
I know,
by a lot.
it wasn't much. so that was not that great of a win. You finally got over the hump and beat them once.
They beat the spread off of a. You remember that? They beat the spread in that game because Jabril Peppers picked off a meaningless 2-point conversion.
Yeah. But here's an amazing stat for you that this is really the one I was talking about that Whitlock brought up that I didn't do the research myself to know this, but it's kind of amazing to me. In Harbaugh's tenure at Michigan, they have the exact same Big Ten record as Northwestern.
Ugh.
Now, somebody tried to make the point. Here's the thing.
Speechless.
Somebody tried to make the point that they play in two different divisions of the conference. Okay, fine.
It's Northwestern.
So and they're trying to say that it's actually worse for Northwestern because they play in the worst division. Dude, you go out and you play to win the games, and Jim Harbaugh was brought here to win titles.
Here's the other thing. Northwestern is Northwestern.
Yeah.
Michigan is it's supposed to be a brand. It's a worldwide brand. It's, Dave Brandon. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But what he wanted to make
I just said the other day, think about Dave Brandon, all right? He was at Domino's. Domino's was all right. Now it's like the #1 pizza chain in the country. After he leaves, he goes to Michigan, hires Brady Hoke, giant garbage fire. He's got to be out after that. Goes to Toys R Us. They go bankrupt. Dave Brandon is a cancer. I am convinced. Everything he touches fails. I like that.
Here's Rich Rod.
This camera is so much fun, by the way.
I'm so fucking with this thing.
Are you guys having a good time?
We're clicking around.
I'm glad you're having fun because the first segment was a fucking disaster.
Oh, it ruined everything.
Hold on. Should I title this show "Just Skip the First Segment"?
Yeah. Because, by the way, camera hasn't lagged once on Facebook Live.
That's been great.
We're skipping around all over these angles.
We're doing all sorts of shots. We're doing
awesome.
solos, doubles, whole shots. It's fantastic. Yeah. Tune our own horn right now.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Well, it's a lot easier for us to handle it than you. That's the one last thing for you need to do.
I'm watching it. Dave gets to look in on it. So we're all of a sudden we're like, oh, this works. Let's try this. So we're each just like going and like moving the camera angles around. Like right now, it's a 2-shot.
You're literally doing a play-by-play of our show right now.
Yeah,
you understand
it's a 2-shot of you and I right now, and it's awesome. I just want the people to know how much fun this is going to be. This is going to change the game for us.
I hope you're right.
We're going to YouTube, which is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of
But you just did a play-by-play of your own podcast.
Fantastic,
I absolutely love that. Nobody who's ever done that before.
No.
Fuck you, Mark Maron.
Yeah. Nobody. I mean, there are podcasts out there right now that don't have.
Remind me to ask that Mark Maron how my ass tastes.
Wonderful, I bet. Very clean.
I just wanted to thank Roger for this wonderful opportunity.
This is awesome.
It is awesome. It's a lot of. This whole room is awesome.
It's so awesome. I don't even know what our next topic was going to be.
Oh, look at that.
Were we done talking about
Full
Shea
shot.
Patterson?
There it is.
We're done. We're done talking about him. Roger really digs the close-ups, by the way.
He's enjoying it.
He's enjoying it.
He's beating off.
Yeah.
Come on.
That is horrific.
I mean, I know my
And
boy
true.
Raj.
This is good stuff.
Did you mention you were perusing TMZ Sports earlier today?
I
right?
was.
And you had mentioned to me that Jimmy Smith was suspended by the Ravens not for raping anyone, not for beating anyone up, not for raping or beating up his own wife.
No.
But for what, Jeff?
He got into an argument with his wife, and there's no proof, charges, accusations that he put a finger on her. He didn't touch her at all. He just argued with his spouse, and I don't know what he said, but they deemed it misconduct, and he's out for 4 games. So I really don't know. I really don't know what's going on with the. Oh, so Eric Weddle.
We have actual audio. We know this is legitimate actual audio that was recorded at the Baltimore Ravens practice facility just earlier today.
Shame on him.
So basically, Eric Weddle is pissed about this because he's friends with Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith is a very good corner for the Ravens. Next to Eric Weddle.
You want to piss off Eric Weddle, by the way. That beard will eat your soul.
So
That's true.
Eric Weddle says, it's hard to fathom arguing with your significant other, never touching her, and it gets you a suspension like this. And I completely agree. So the investigation showed that he used threatening and emotionally abusive behavior directed at his girlfriend.
Is there proof of this? Like, are there text messages available, emails?
It says there was never a physical confrontation. Let's see.
Scandalous.
Weddle says he knew there was no physical altercation, and he says Weddle says I know the details of it that I can't get into, so I just feel bad for him, and it's hard for a guy to be put in a spot where he can't really stand up for himself and tell the truth, because if he does, it'll be a lot worse in the grand scheme of things. So he might have been a giant dick to her, it sounds like, and make him look like a giant asshole in the public perception.
Okay, so
but
is there proof?
Be suspension worthy.
You got to show me proof of at least threatening language. Because here's the thing: I can understand him getting suspended. Okay, here we go. You got breaking news.
They think it's a Ray Rice situation.
Oh no!
That there's a video.
Okay, is this new?
No, there is no video coming out, but they think that everybody goes back to the Ray Rice video coming out, and they don't want that to happen.
Oh, so they're okay. I got you.
So he probably was arguing with her. He never touched her, and he said heinous things to her. That would be my guess.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, if there's like threatening language,
yeah, like, I'll kill you.
Provable, yeah, I can understand a suspension for that. Yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Was that like a Mr. T impression just now? I'll kill you. Does sound like sorry.
Or the Jeff Dunham puppet.
Yeah,
Ahmed the dead
the
terrorist.
yeah.
He couldn't get away with that if he started that today, could he?
No, I don't think so.
Not a chance in hell.
He's got to still be around, right? That's like one of his things.
Yeah, but it's already been established.
Yeah,
he couldn't establish that
You
today.
thought it was funny 3 years ago.
Oh,
it's still funny now.
That reminds me, South Park's starting up again. Oh yeah. And I finally finished the last season. I didn't finish like the last 2 or 3 episodes. What do you want? This?
Yeah.
You want my vape?
Tracy's.
But I finally watched like the last couple episodes of the last season where they introduced Strong Woman.
Yeah.
And I'm really wondering what some of the jokes are going to be for this season's South Park. I got to believe it's going to be fucking amazing.
It's going to be savage.
It's going to be absolutely...
As the world gets more ridiculous, South Park will get more ridiculous.
No,
South Park, that's even scary.
South Park will get better.
It will get better. How?
Because here's what I think. I mean, the Me Too shit's got to be coming.
No,
it's got to be coming.
I think it's not like South Park is so make your episodes right here, right now. What happened that week or the week before is being joked about.
No, but they catch up on old stuff. Like they
probably
they did a lot of stuff about the election though, and that season aired a little bit of time after the election, so they'll go back to that stuff.
Yeah.
But the Me Too stuff, both the real stuff that fucking sucks and the fake stuff that everybody's making fun of are both, they're going to be intermingled, man.
For sure.
This show's been going on for 24 fucking years.
I can't.
And it just keeps getting better. And it's getting predictable, but not in a bad way. Like, you want to see what they're going to say about this kind of stuff.
For sure. It's going to be really good. I love South Park. And as the world gets more ridiculous, the Donald Trump stuff, all the
Mr. Garrison stuff,
all the super progressive stuff. Like, what is Mrs. Garrison gonna be now?
They already touched on that.
He already made
the last 2 or 3 episodes of the last season. Like, it was like the second to last season. They made fun. They went hard on progressives with the strong woman stuff, and then the final episode.
No, it's fucking the principal, PC principal.
Yeah. But then in the final episode, they went hard the other way and bashed on conservatives fiercely.
Yeah.
With the whole nobody cares about the whites, that bit.
Yeah.
About how white people are playing the victim.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just amazing. It might be the greatest show ever made.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that an argument that can be made?
Yeah. Oh, definitely can be made. It definitely can be made. It's just shows are just like music. They're just like art. It's like they're so subjective.
And you know how hard Matt and Trey work on that show.
Oh, they work so hard. It's just
they
so
bust
subjective.
their ass on that
like,
show.
You never compare like a South Park to like a Breaking Bad or a Game of Thrones. They're just they don't compute.
Okay, so could we call South Park the greatest parody show?
Oh yeah,
for sure.
For sure,
I think definitely.
You could probably call it. You could argue that it's the best cartoon of all time.
Oh yeah.
You could argue that it's the best comedy.
You could argue that it's the best show of all time too.
It's just very difficult.
Not hands down.
It's just very difficult to argue, a cartoon that's funny versus a serious drama with real life actors.
Is it? Here's an honest question: is it the smartest, the most intelligent comedy of all time? I think it is. Mike Judge has done some good stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously King of the Hill and obviously Beavis and Butthead were really good. They were really intelligent in ways that dumb people don't understand. People think Beavis and Butthead's a dumb show. You've heard people say that before, right? Those are dumb people.
Yeah, it's
because it's the way that you have to really pay attention.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like The Office, right? There's little jokes all over the place that if you're paying attention are funny. Like I just watched an episode where the Michael Scott Paper Company episode where they make Michael Scott leaves Under Mifflin and goes to starts his own Michael Scott Paper Company. And he goes to cut the ribbon to open the door, and the giant hedge clippers don't cut it, and then he yanks it down. It was so funny to me. It's so stupid. But if you're not paying attention, you won't catch that joke. So there are like shows like that. It's just I like to really only judge shows within their own genre, I guess. I guess you can expand South Park to funniest comedy of all time. That would fit.
But it's still in the argument for best show ever.
There's
an argument. Maybe there might be 50 shows in that argument.
Yeah, there's probably 100 shows in that argument.
Okay, so here we go. Is it a top 50 show of all time?
Top 50 of all time. Yes.
50.
Yes, top 50 of all time. For
25.
Sure. See, I don't have I would need shows in front of me. I would need shows in front of me to look at a list that I could be like, this one's better, this one's not better.
Off the top of your head. You don't have to commit to it.
I would say it's probably right around there. That's probably where my list cuts off.
Because I'm going without thinking about it. I'm going top 10 in my realm. I'm going top 10.
Hey man, it's an argument that can be made.
And when I think about my favorite shows of all time, Shameless, Weeds, Orange is the New Black. Don't make fun of me. Genji Cohen's a fucking genius. And there are others in there, but South Park would make that list.
I mean,
Breaking Bad's in there.
I'm not going to break your balls. I think Game of Thrones is in there. I think personally, Game of Thrones.
See, and I hate Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I think Game of Thrones might be the best show of all time. It's going to be there.
That sounds like a Thrones head talking right there.
We'll see how the end of it goes, but it should be.
It sounds like you sound like a Thrones head.
I mean, it's just on so many levels, it's so good. So many levels,
it's so bad.
It's a movie for an hour every Sunday for 8 weeks, 10 weeks. It's a movie. It's so good. We'll see then.
I can't do it. I tried again recently. I did.
Did you get to season 2?
No.
See, I didn't. You gotta power through. It's like the people I didn't watch. I watched the first season and a half of Breaking Bad. And it was like, this ain't that good. Then I watched the whole thing. I powered through, and I go, this is fucking amazing. This is one of the best shows I've ever seen.
I think
The Sinner is one of the best storytelling television shows I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and
I haven't watched
executive producer.
It is
good for her.
Absolutely incredible.
I'm not gonna pass judgment because I haven't
USA
tried it yet.
Outdone themselves. It's a USA television show. It is. They have outdone themselves.
By the way, Bill Pullman's the man.
Which means it won't last on USA. It'll get canceled and then Netflix.
No, there will only be, I think, a few seasons of it because the show is based on a book, and the book is
those are the
season,
best.
Yeah, but the show is based on the book. The first season is the entire book.
Those shows that are only a few seasons are some of my favorites.
And this season,
The Newsroom is one of my favorite shows of all time.
This season,
3 seasons
is
incredible.
This season was just created, right? There's no book for this season, and it's 3 episodes in, and it's incredible. I'm like, they are nailing it.
I'll give it a shot.
It's worth it. You'll.
Where can I find it?
I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Hulu. Season 1 is.
Season 1 of The Sinner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, I think.
I believe it is.
And it's so good.
It's a great show. You know what? I've gotten far enough in now where we actually have not been watching it. We've had it. We put it on to tape the series. I think what we're going to wind up doing at this point, I think we're going to wind up just binging it after it's completely done. The season's done. We're just going to watch it all at once. It's going to be fantastic. Without the commercials and all that shit, it's going to be awesome.
Doing TV reviews on this show.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I mean, it's better than talking about the abysmal fucking Lions.
Oh! Can I be honest with you? You want to know how many downs I've watched of Lions preseason
6.
football? Maybe a couple more than that.
Like
but
10.
Not many. Not many more than that.
You're saying downs, not series. Correct?
Downs. Like plays snapped.
Yeah.
No more than 20.
I haven't actively watched much more than that, to be honest.
Like
I was out with some friends watching. I shouldn't say watching. I was out with some friends at a bar while the second game was going on. I can't really tell you that I was paying much attention to
All I need is the highlights, and I don't even really need those.
There's not really any
fake
of those.
Football. Folks are freaking out. The Lions have not looked good in their first couple of preseason games. So I'm going to turn to you guys, a couple of guys that have watched a few more downs than I have.
I watched the entire second game.
Is there reason for concern?
There is reason for concern.
Oh, no. I didn't want to hear you say that.
The starting offensive line cannot create a hole for the life of them. Nothing. LeGarrette Blount looks good. Kerryon Johnson look good in the sense that they can do a little bit with nothing. Amir Abdullah has to be cut. I don't know why he's still on the team. He fumbles the ball every time he touches it. He's terrible.
Fumbled twice the other day.
He fumbled twice. He's terrible. And they were both just drops. He dropped a kick return, and he dropped an easy handoff by Stafford.
Terrible.
Stafford
exchange.
was sacked like twice in like 8 plays. They couldn't get a first down until the second half.
By the way, to the Abdullah point, also outside of the fumble Ruskies he had last week, the only thing at this point with what you've done in that in that running back room, the only thing he'd be good for at this point is to play a Theo Riddick type of role, and Theo Riddick is better at it.
Way better.
So you just keep Theo Riddick and you get rid of Abdullah. Here's the problem.
Is he tradable?
That's the problem.
No, he's not tradable.
Actually, I think that's false.
You couldn't get a late round pick for Amir
I think you
Abdullah?
could probably get what you would probably get is something similar to what the Lions just gave up in the trade they made today for the linebacker from the Niners, Eli Harold, is to get like a conditional 6th or 7th round thing with obviously conditions can be whatever, which the Lions won today. It was like conditional on him being on the roster for 4 weeks, I think what it was. So that you could probably get something like that. Almost, unless a guy has absolutely zero ability, somebody will probably give up something for him, but it ain't going to be much.
That's what I'm saying. Late round pick.
It ain't going to be very much.
Would you take a late round pick for Amir Abdullah-Jabbar?
I think so. Yes.
Take a late round pick.
Would you take a dirty semen-filled towel?
I would take a guy that will cut before the 53-man roster for Emil Abdullah right now, just because he has a better shot at making the
take
team.
like a 5th-string tight end. Can't catch.
Tight ends are awful, by the way.
I would take. Dude, I would take a football placeholder for like the actual holder that the kicker uses at practicing on the sideline.
So based on 2 weeks of preseason football, you got to put a record to the Lions this year.
6-10, 5-11. I don't know.
7-9.
Wow,
bad,
Jeff
man.
went way over what I
It's
thought.
bad. So here's the problem.
Because Jeff can never lose total faith.
It's funny.
No, I just think they're 7-9. I mean, Stafford's only played like 2 drives.
The part the part that seems to be freaking everybody out the most is actually not the part that I'm the most worried about. Everybody's freaking out about the lack of pressure from the defensive line, and while it is concerning, I'm not saying it's fine. I also think this is such a pared down version of what's going to happen. Patricia's not giving up anything about what this defense is doing. They're not scheming anything. They're giving absolute base shit, and it's like you beat this guy or he beats you. And right now, the problem that you're seeing is one-on-one. The Lions have been getting beaten.
Is that a Belichickian move?
I think so. Oh, absolutely.
Because here's the thing. You want to know who your guys are going to be, right? We talked to Lomas about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And how he talked about how those second 22 almost have to be just as good as those first 22 to really have a team that's got a chance to compete for a championship.
Yeah. Which is why
that's coming from a 7-time All-Pro offensive lineman.
Which is why, by the way, we were talking about this a little bit earlier.
But what I mean by a Belichickian thing is, don't you want to get those other 22 guys schemed up?
What do you mean?
But Belichick, instead of doing that, chooses to not show anything and figure it out as the season goes along. Is that something that Patricia's bringing with him from Bill Belichick?
I think
by showing so little in the preseason.
I think he is to a degree.
Yeah, they don't stunt or anything. They haven't been stunting.
But teams do.
Yeah, other teams do. The Giants were stunting.
Is this a Belichick thing?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's.
Or is this something that Matt Patricia gave to Bill Belichick?
I don't know. No, because Belichick's not even practicing with other teams right now. Like the Lions are practicing with the Giants, and the Lions are practicing with the Raiders. But the Patriots aren't practicing with anybody. That's why Tom Brady played a full half the other day in game.
I know,
2.
that was so weird.
It was crazy.
It was weird.
So
God, if he had gone down.
It's just, I know.
I mean, I would have been thrilled.
But I get it, but they're not necessarily doing anything that I think is out of the ordinary. I just don't think it's like, to get a pass rush, you got to get, like, you can just bull rush your way into a pass rush a little bit. They got no pass rush. They can just block out guys to give your quarterback 3 seconds of time. They didn't do that. Stafford was taken down a couple times. Stafford got his arm hit. Like, reached around and hit his elbow. I was like, oh, my God. It was just like the season flashed before my eyes. Like, get him out of there. Do not play him in any game but the third game and play him for like a quarter.
Oh, no, I think they're going to play him for possibly most of the first half tomorrow night. That's what I think is going to happen.
It's the third game. I mean,
right.
A lot of times they'll play the full they'll play the full first half. The starters will. In the third game, most of the time.
And he might. That might be what they do.
Unless what Jeff just said and he gets hit in the arm twice.
Yeah, you don't want that. Like, it's just he doesn't look protected. I don't think there's necessarily any problems with, like, Ragnow. I don't think that he was an issue. I think you're going to get your lumps with him, but it's the other guys. It's like Taylor Decker doesn't look really good. He doesn't look like what he looked like. And that's not Patricia holding back or anything. That's just Taylor Decker not being able to hold a block. You know?
That's not good.
It's one-on-one. You know, it's not like you're flashing anything. You're not getting away with anything. And the defense doesn't look that good. I mean, the secondary is going to be really good, I think. I think they're going to be really good. Darius Slay looks absolutely great already.
I kind of wanted to talk about Darius Slay just a sec. Were you going to say something about Darius Slay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because what I was going to say is, what I look for out of Darius Slay, after the year he had last year, he was an all-pro last year. I mean, he was one of the best defensive backs in the league last year. Certainly one of the best corners. With the turnover of whom we consider the best corner in the league, seems like it's every other year it's changing. Is this not Darius Slay's time?
Yeah,
to hit that point?
He's going to be top 3 corner this year.
And here's the thing. I don't remember who I heard say this, but I thought it was actually an excellent point. Is it not entirely possible that for everybody that talks about, the Lions season would be over if Matthew Stafford went down, which is 100% true, right?
100% true.
Is it not also entirely possible that you could almost say that exact same thing for Darius Slay, that he's that important to that defense?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's that good.
I think you could say that.
That good.
He is, I think he's the best player on that defense. By far. I don't think there's anyone close.
I don't think there's anybody that individually is as good.
Maybe a healthy Ziggy Ansah.
You could argue he's the best player on the team.
No, I don't think he's better than Stafford. I think when you look at the cornerbacks around the league and the quarterbacks around the league, there's no way that you could say that there aren't more good corners.
But wait a minute, that factors in Stafford's importance as well.
No, I would say if you're going to look at him position by position, I have Chris Sims, quarterback.
Oh, top quarterbacks in the league?
Quarterbacks in the league.
He pulled it up on his goddamn phone.
I saved it so that I wouldn't lose it because you asked me to keep it.
But I would say I would say that if you go pound for pound, Darius Slay might be the best player on this team. It's an argument that can be made.
Yeah, it's an argument that can be made, I guess.
Pound for pound. If we're factoring in importance, then of course it's Matthew Stafford.
Of course with importance.
Just because he's the quarterback, even if it wasn't Matthew Stafford.
Guaranteed importance.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. It's more...
But I think you get...
Are there more...
You get emotional...
top-end corners in the NFL than there are quarterbacks? And the answer is yes. There's a lot more players like Darius Slay than there are like Matthew Stafford.
Oh, I disagree.
I think Matthew Stafford's been jobbed. In Detroit.
So you're saying best at their position is what you're saying. Are there more quarterbacks that are better than Darius Slay, or are there cornerbacks that are better?
There's really no way to judge compare a corner
because I think there are more quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than Matthew Stafford than there are cornerbacks in the NFL that are better than Darius Slay. If that's what you're saying.
I don't know about that. I think he'll probably be a top 3 corner this year.
Because what is Richard Sherman?
I don't think Richard Sherman's going to be better than Darius Slay this year.
No, but he's very good.
Yeah, he's very good.
You got Josh Norman.
He's very good. That's going to be a close.
Is there another cornerback in the league that is hands down right now better than Darius Slay, other than those two guys?
Jason Verrett, I think, is better.
He's hurt.
Yeah, but I think he's better when he plays. Oh, he's hurt already?
Again.
And I think a lot of people would go, who?
That's true. Trying to think.
But then again, talking about Darius Slay on a national scale, a lot of people might say who as well.
It's hard to go team by team and think about the really good corners.
Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Ryan. I mean, you can name at least 7 or 8 quarterbacks that are hands down better.
Verrett's out for the year again.
Oh.
Tore his Achilles.
Fine.
Tore his Achilles the first week of practice.
You can name 7 or 8 quarterbacks hands down that are better than Matthew Stafford. You
Sure.
can't name 7 or 8 corners hands down that are better than Darius Slay.
Yeah, this is a really hard conversation to have, though.
That'll bring us to these Chris Sims rankings.
This is a really hard conversation to have because of the fact that the level of importance is different. And again, it's tomato type of a conversation.
But right now we're talking about at their position.
I think Darius Slay, at his position...
You could argue he's top 3.
Yeah, you could argue he's top 3.
You can't say that about Stafford.
No, you can't. But
definitely not top 3.
We can find out where
Chris Sims...
Chris Sims
by the way, I want to tell you this. As a football player, I have an incredible amount of respect for Chris Sims. The motherfucker went out and ruptured his spleen and finished a football game.
That's pretty impressive.
Nobody's more hardcore than that.
No, definitely not.
As a football pundit, not my favorite.
All right, so I'm going to run down the top 10 for you.
Okay.
At number 1, who do you think he's got number 1?
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers.
Bing, bing, bing. You are
Number
correct.
2, Tom Brady.
Number 2.
Not Tom Brady, is it?
Not Tom
God
Brady.
damn it.
Number 2 is Russell Wilson.
Nope.
Get out of here. I'll put Breeze up there before
number
that.
Number 3. Who do you think is number 3?
I'm gonna judging by the look
Phillip
on
Rivers.
I was gonna say, judging by the look on Jeff's face, it's not Tom Brady.
Phillip Rivers.
I gotta go Breeze.
Tom Brady.
God damn it. Fuck you, Jeff.
I'm sorry.
He was an actor in high school.
Number 4. Number 4. Who do you think he's got number 4?
I'll go Breeze there
It's
then.
gotta be Breeze.
It is your Detroit Lions.
Get out of here.
Matthew Stafford
Absolutely
at
not.
number 4.
Absolutely not.
Now here's the rest of the top.
Yeah, give me the rest.
Carson Wentz at 5. Ben Roethlisberger
Where
at
the
6.
fuck is Drew Brees?
Cam Newton at 7.
Oh my God.
Deshaun Watson at 8. Matt Ryan at 9. And Drew Brees at 10.
I had him at 3.
3.
I mean, he is aging out.
Get out
It's
of
not
here.
a bad argument.
He's not number 10.
No, he's not number 10.
Not number 10. He's better
4.
than Cam
He's
Newton.
4. Matthew Stafford is not
Number
4.
9, Jameis Winston.
I got like Stafford at like between 5 and 8, right? Anywhere between 5 and 8, I think that's a nice, fair number, right?
I say between 5 and 10. We're in the same ballpark. He's a top 10 quarterback. But he's not number fucking 3.
No, he's not. I mean, having Deshaun Watson ahead of him.
Oh
right.
my God.
I mean, I love maybe
and Cam Newton
maybe
ahead
in
of him.
fantasy football, but not in real football. Because Deshaun Watson can do all kinds of things.
Not when it comes to going out and winning a football game.
No.
Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees has done more with less than anybody but Tom Brady. Maybe Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. But he doesn't win anything.
Where did he have Phillip Rivers?
He wasn't in the top 10.
He was not on the top 10 list.
That's garbage
Yeah,
to me.
That's garbage.
That's absolute garbage to me.
For sure.
I said Phillip Rivers 3rd.
I wasn't sure if you were joking.
I was a little bit. But the point was I had him in the top grouping for sure.
No, Phillip Rivers is a top 10 quarterback. No question about it.
I think so too.
He might be 9 or 10,
Like
but he's up there.
I love Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's in there. I think Cam and Ben are probably floating right around the 10.
Ben, I'm
11,
fine with.
12 mark.
Ben, I'm fine with.
I mean, you're talking going into the season, so it's not about where they're going to be, not where they have been in the past.
There's no way Matthew Stafford's going to be the 3rd best quarterback in the league
Fourth
this year.
best quarterback. But yeah, no, there's no way.
Who was 3?
Tom Brady.
Oh, that's right. 4th best quarterback.
Russell Wilson was 2, which is
no way.
That's a little crazy.
If Matthew Stafford, by metric, we're going by metric, is the 4th best quarterback in this league, I will do a show nude.
All right.
I think you've already said that for something else and it never happened. So
looking forward to that.
I don't remember what the bet was. I don't remember what the bet was, to be honest. So
I didn't have to do it nude. I won the bet. That's what it means.
I don't know if you did. But none of us are going to keep you honest, so
I will do the show nude. If he's the 4th best quarterback in the NFL.
I believe I want to see it.
But you know what that means.
But wait a minute. What is that? That's a subjective thing, though. What does that mean to you?
By metric.
Okay.
In other words, if Pro Football Focus has Matthew Stafford as the 4th best quarterback in the NFL, I will do the show nude.
What if we can even do this? This is a really easy, tangible statistic. If he finishes with the 4th or better QB rating in the entire league for the year.
I didn't say or better. I said if he's the 4th best quarterback.
So if he's the number 1 quarterback in the league, you're not going to do it, dude? That makes no sense.
I said 4th best.
Well, that is that is greatly underselling this.
I'm not taking
this. Very much underselling.
I'm not.
I don't want the odds on that either.
If he's exactly 4th best, I will do the show nude.
By the way, if he's exactly 4th best, Lions are probably winning a playoff game this year.
Lions might win the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so.
If he's the 4th best quarterback in the NFL,
they're not. They're not
Yes.
good enough. They're not good enough for
They
that.
might win the Super Bowl.
They're not good enough for
Easy,
that.
guy. Easy.
You do need more than a quarterback to win.
Yeah, but he's never been that good, and the Lions have been better than him before. Look at 2011.
My point being, look at the teams that played look at the teams that were in the championship games last year, the NFC and AFC championship games, and tell me that the Lions would have had a fucking chance against any of them. They would not have.
No, but look at Nick Foles.
Yeah, but the Eagles were good.
I understand that.
It is always going to be amazing to everybody, including myself, that Nick Foles was able to go out and do what he did and get them to a championship. However, that was a good football team. The Lions, I do not think when you look at this roster, even if Matt Patricia puts a really nice stamp on it, I don't think this roster is good enough for that.
If Matthew Stafford is the fourth best quarterback in the NFL this year, you don't think they're a Super Bowl contender?
No.
That's crazy to me.
I know it's not. I don't think it is at all.
Because if he's the fourth best quarterback,
he could have great numbers, and that team can't run the ball, and the team can't play defense.
Look at that year that they went to the playoffs against the Saints.
He was 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
He was arguably a top 5 quarterback then, and they were not that good.
So what's their record if Matthew Stafford is the fourth best quarterback and the rest of the team is as good as you think they are right now, week 2 of the preseason?
10-6.
10-6, okay.
10-6, 11-5 at best.
That's a playoff team.
Yeah, it's a playoff team.
But we're not. That's not what. Yeah, that's not what you said.
Talking about winning the game.
You said Super Bowl contender. I don't think that being in the playoffs automatically makes you a Super Bowl contender. I don't think those things are mutually exclusive.
But if you've got a great quarterback in the playoffs, that changes everything.
It helps a lot, yeah.
It changes everything.
How many teams make the playoffs without a good quarterback, though?
I think teams make the playoffs
AKA
without
the
a good
Jaguars.
quarterback. Yeah, I think that happens. I think teams
or the Bills,
or AKA the what was it, the 2013 Broncos?
It's not about whether you make the playoffs with a bad quarterback. It's about making the playoffs with a good quarterback and being the fourth best quarterback in the NFL, making the playoffs. That greatly increases your chances to compete for a Super Bowl.
Yes, it does, but
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It's just
I said they could win the Super Bowl if Matthew Stafford's the fourth best quarterback.
I think you're putting too much on the shoulder of the quarterback. And I know we say the quarterback's the most important position, but the quarterback cannot single-handedly make a team a Super Bowl contender. They can make them a playoff team by themselves. That happens all the time. But I do not think you can tell me an example where a quarterback made a team a Super Bowl contender by himself. It just doesn't work like that.
Good quarterbacks in the playoffs. That's all you need.
But I know that. I know that you typically speaking need a good quarterback to get to the playoffs.
The Lions making the playoffs have never had Matthew Stafford as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Even his 5,000-yard year, he was not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
His numbers would tell differently that year across the board.
But by metric. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be by metric.
All right.
You have really pigeonholed yourself. Probably, which is good for us. I'm happy
watch
about
this video
that.
tomorrow and write this.
I'm
down.
happy about
Yards
this.
don't make metrics.
He was in the top 5 in almost every passing category.
He could have a great passing rating and passer rating, and he could have great touchdown to interception ratio and great yards. And I'm still not winning anything.
But how's his third down ratio? How
many numbers are you going to count?
That's
how
why
many
I'm
numbers?
saying
how many though?
That's why I'm saying by metric.
Passer rating.
That's not a metric.
Yeah, that's the metric.
I guess
of
it's
all those combined.
That's technically a metric.
That's the metric. It's all of them combined. The QBR.
QBR and passer rating are two different things.
Yeah, but the QBR includes all of those.
QBR is more important. And by the way, one of the better things that ESPN created. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
ESPN created the QBR.
Yeah.
So if he's top 4 in QBR, we'll go with that. We'll make it simple. If ESPN has him in the top 4 in QBR.
Quarterback rating?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
But passer rating and quarterback rating are two different things.
Sorry, I was thinking QBR when I said that. I just said the wrong thing.
That's fine. We can go with that.
All right.
If he's 4th best in QBR, I will do the show nude.
All right. 4th best in QBR,
Well,
right?
That'll be a lot of fun now because we got a real nice camera.
Yeah.
The odds are 32-1.
High-end HD.
We're gonna have one shot the entire show.
All right, this segment.
We're just gonna put it right underneath the desk.
We're gonna over an hour.
Forever. We didn't even get into the TMZ stuff.
No,
it's not that important.
That's all right.
We don't need it.
Is that your cue, Jeff, that you'd like to terminate this podcast?
Yeah.
I think if we try to get into the other mumbo jumbo, it's just gonna feel contrived.
Well, you did get in Chris Sims' QB list,
which is
so
good.
We got there.
Yeah.
And we got the lines in, and we got Shea Patterson in, and we got Ohio State.
I can even give us each a close-up to end the show.
You're having too much fun.
It's gonna be a real quick cut.
Now that we know how to work the camera,
It's real good times.
after one awful segment, this is going to be skip the first segment. That's going to be
laughing. That was awesome.
That's going to be the name of this episode. Skip the first segment because it's
Okay.
garbage.
Yeah. I like it though.
Out of Bounds Detroit Sports, sportsradiodetroit.com. David Faze, Jeff Mell, myself, Dan Griffin, and we're going to keep working out the kinks. But for now, we are out of here.